Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
So,
you.
Lisa Keene and Brittney Lee, production design,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
So, can you please tell us what was your exact role in Frozen 2?
Oh my gosh. As production designer, I work with Mike Giamo and I help to support his vision through the film, and that starts at the moment we are handed a script with visual development, designing all sorts of landscapes and props and the world that we're going to be in. Also take it through the color script and the color arcs of the film all the way through lighting.
So I'm a visual development artist, and I help with the design of various things. And on Frozen 2, I spent a lot of time working mainly on costume designs and a lot with Elsa.
So, big fan of your work, both of you. First of all, let me get it straight. I love Anna's cape. It's the best. I would like to have one just like that.
That's what we keep saying. When are they going to make this stuff for us?
I got a couple of capes, but that one is
It's a good cape. Yeah.
But where do you get like inspiration for the look?
Oh, we get inspiration from everywhere. Like, we've pulled inspiration specifically from Norway. There were multiple research trips to Norway, and we brought back books on traditional Scandinavian fashion. And Anna is the recipient of a lot of that. She's able to wear those silhouettes really well. But we look at contemporary fashion, we look at what the story is telling us it needs and what the environment is going to be, and try to build around what all the characters are going to be going through. So we'll pull examples from performance and film to show how a garment should move. So we're trying to pull as much information from everywhere.
Right, because then you got also Elsa with some sort of leggings or like some wetsuit leggings when she goes underwater. So it's very, there's a bit of classic and a bit of contemporary.
Yeah, and that's intentional.
Yes.
We want to make sure that it can perform, but we also want to make sure as much as we can to be timeless.
Right, and the word that you build around all this is also because of the technology. It's just we saw before in the presentation, like the drone going over the trees and the palette of colors that you mentioned before.
Yep.
So how did you get to those colors in particular?
Well, we knew that, there was a problem in that fall or autumn has everything from yellow to deep violets and deep purples. We had to narrow our palette down into a smaller range, because to have all of that going on would really detract from the characters, and we're there to support. So we knew we had to have autumn. We knew we had to have a language in that color palette that spoke back to Frozen 1. And because Frozen 1 had a very specific color language, we had to tweak all the autumn hues to talk back to that movie. So it was a bit of a push and pull for us.
Was it hard to match somehow?
Yeah, I mean, it was hard in that you had to be specific about where you carried some of those hues. For example, yellow would not have played as nicely behind our characters as, say, deeper reds. So, but we couldn't say no yellow in autumn. You have to have some yellow. So we decided to push it up. We pushed it up into the top of the canopy of the tree. So at a distance, you would get to see it. But when we were in tight and close to our characters, we had colors behind them that supported the characters and showcased their costumes.
Right. So also the iconography of the snow, there are so many little details. I wonder, like, how many of those details you put at maybe, people will watch this movie again and again, like for Frozen 1. And did you put lots of stuff that will eventually notice?
Everywhere we could. Everywhere. So hopefully, you can watch the movie multiple times and find something new every time, because we spent a lot of time putting in detail.
Yeah, we do.
On everything.
And often when you start building iconography for a film, there's a language within that you can pull it apart and reassemble it in another way, and it's part of what keeps the sort of the art direction consistent throughout a whole film. So a snowflake might be pulled apart and become something that Elsa makes on the ocean, and it's really just parts of her snowflake, but it looks a completely different way. So that way it's carrying the motif all the way through the film.
Right. there anything you're like most proudest of that you did for this one?
Oh, well, for me, it was the knock.
The knock, yeah.
Working on, getting the opportunity to work on the knock, yes.
Yeah.
That was mine.
That looks stunning anyway.
I have horses and I love it.
Well, you know, it's a bit of a monster. I was just wondering why it had to be a horse. To me, it's a friendly animal.
Well,
you know?
it's part of the mythology
Yeah.
of the region, a water horse, yeah.
Right. And did you go as well in the research trip?
I did not. I would love to someday, but I did not.
Yeah.
I got to see all of their amazing photos when they came back.
Right. And is there anywhere you draw inspiration that we wouldn't guess? Like,
That you wouldn't
that you
guess.
wouldn't guess.
like we know, the Norwegian, the Scandinavians.
You know,
That's really hard.
okay, so inspiration that you wouldn't guess. One of the stories I tell is that we work in our heads even after we leave work.
Right.
And I remember a particularly difficult assignment on the knock, and I was struggling with it and not necessarily pleasing my production designer. And so I remember going home and going to bed. In the middle of the night, you dream and you work on this stuff all night long. And I remember having a dream where there was one snapshot of an image, and I went, "That's it." Came back to work and illustrated it up, and that was the go. Yeah.
Well, McCartney dreamt about yesterday.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.